The 50th anniversary of the moon landing. Well, that's yesterday's news, right? Well, tonight, though, we're focusing on the next 50 years of space. Not so much what's happening in the heavens, but right here on Earth. And when we take you full circle, we bring you multiple viewpoints on issues that have a deep impact on our community. And believe it or not, more rocket launches at Cape Canaveral impact everyone more than you may realize. As ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska tonight shows us, Florida is poised to make history yet again.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5.
Since the 1960s, the world's eyes have zeroed in on Florida, Cape Canaveral.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've cheered successes and mourned as a nation.
Go and throttle up.
During tragedy.
They prepared for their journey and waved goodbye.
Each event moving us one step closer to this moment.
And liftoff.
Right now. To realize dreams of space exploration, the second man to walk on the moon, Buzz Aldrin, recently complained to the president we lost.
What would you say? Frankly, I've been a little disappointed the last 10, 15 years.
But visionaries that also happen to be billionaires are feverishly working to bring that glory back to America's space program.
You need to wake up and be excited about the future.
Focusing on the moon, Mars, and beyond.
Without them, does the Cape survive?
We have the billionaires, and without them, we probably would not have reclaimed so much launch activity either. It took a billionaire, because this is a very expensive business to get involved in.
It is anyone's guess what awaits us in the vast unknown, but the race to be first, something you'll hear a lot of in this report, is starting over again.
We're expecting to launch a crewed mission by the end of the year. Yeah, the last thing you're going to see, though, an astronaut coming out here and be able to look at this view of America, you know, the coastline here.
We got an exclusive tour of the Cape, from launch pads to companies breathing new life into historic buildings and businesses serving up a growing customer base with futures literally out of this world.
I'm not going to name any names, but they come in once in a while, yeah.
The race to the Cape, a modern-day gold rush.
We think it's the Silicon Valley of Space 2.0.
Barry Hamilton and his wife Laura are in the middle of a huge project, developing an old bank and hotel into apartments and a co-working space.
How excited are you to build something that could be 50 years from now, a place where someone launches their career to Mars?
I have been waiting my whole life for this project.
It is the transportation hub of the future.
Barry is the founder and CEO of Red Canyon Engineering, a company that writes software for NASA's new Dream Chaser spacecraft. His investment in historic Titusville, one piece of a larger vision.
You know, we'll be doing regular trips to Mars. We'll be colonizing Mars. And that's going to be in the next two to 3 decades.
And Cape Canaveral is going to lead the charge.
Oh, absolutely.
I think becoming a multiplanetary species, being able to get out there into orbit and do things with humans is really important.
A dizzying 12 stories up, we talked to Tony Taliancic, the director and general manager of launch operations for United Launch Alliance.
You know, we're really focused on, right now, making that first step.
Where will the astronauts be in the capsule? Is it sitting on top of the Atlas V rocket?
So the capsule will actually be directly in front of us. You'll see the crew access arm will go straight out here, and the astronauts will walk right down this path out into the door of the capsule, be able to secure themselves in, secure the door.
We have booster ignition and liftoff.
Space travel is a world of firsts and lasts. The first to Mars, the last phone call home, the last vision of Earth, and the first time private companies are leading this charge.
This will be out at the capsule. They'll walk into the white room.
I feel excited just walking in here and I'm not even going to space.
This December, ULA, founded in 2006 as a joint venture between Lockheed Martin and Boeing, will mark a major milestone, sending astronauts to the International Space Station.
There is no more important requirement than humans putting them on top.
Well, it's surreal to be on the launch pad here at ULA. This is the Delta IV rocket, expected to launch a satellite next couple of weeks. It has 1.4 million pounds of thrust, and satellites really are going to be their bread and butter as they continue to ramp up launches in the coming years.
And the demand for satellites for communication, the market has opened up because the costs have gone down.
Linda Weatherman is the president and CEO of the Economic Development Commission of Florida's Space Coast.
It's a second golden age for space exploration.
Weatherman's job is to lure companies back to Brevard County.
We as a country lost a lot of our launch market. You know, 50 years ago we had it all. Competition, Chinese, other places. The Australians have launches, the Chinese have launches. We have competition amongst launch within this country. Wallops launches, Texas wants to do launch. We are bringing back and reclaiming unmanned launch back to the Cape. Launch to 48 launches.
48 launches a year is ambitious and will impact domestic and international air travel.
Our airspace joins right over Cape Canaveral. So for the entirety of my career, all launch activity out of the Cape has heavily impacted airspace that I work.
Air Traffic Controller Paul Behan is the National Commercial Space Integration Representative for the Air Traffic Controllers Association. Behan says right now they can't track rocket launches on their radar. And software to communicate with launch operators is still in the works.
Up until this point, engineers at the launch facilities were literally doing arithmetic with pencil, paper, and taking those parameters and forwarding them into the Air Traffic Control Command Center for dissemination.
Depending on the type of launch, the FAA will lock down airspace from the Cape to the middle of the Atlantic, sometimes a 1,000-mile stretch, impacting commercial and private flights.
So now you're adding more airplanes to already busy airspace. So what that most often results in is what we call ground delays. And if they're flying extra miles, they're going to burn extra fuel, and it takes extra time to get there, so it all compounds.
39A is right about where that pine tree is. You hear the rumble, the ground shakes, and you hear it, you feel it.
Playlinda Brewmaster Ron Rake has a front row seat to history. His view of the future is simple.
Well, I hope they're still drinking beer then. Hopefully I'll be around for it.
The future is now. In Brevard County, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
And you can see all of our past Full Circle reports on ABC Action News streaming apps. They're all in one place, and they cover everything from the environment, the opioid crisis, to daylight savings time, to the final frontier.